And foremost, as always, I want to give all the praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakaha Kwadash, and double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that taught us this truth through the Holy Spirit. Peace and blessings and salutations to the Lord's hopeful elect. All right, I'm the brother Zion, and Lord willing, this lesson is edifying to feed the sheep and the lambs of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. All right, and pretty much in this live lesson, all right, I want to go into faith, okay? And we all know faith is one of the key attributes that you must have in this truth, okay? Faith is one of those key ingredients that you must have in this truth, okay? It's similar to, if you making food, all right, and you don't have the correct seasoning, all right, the food isn't gonna taste right, all right. But if you throw that faith in there, okay, it's gonna be perfect, you know. So faith is a key ingredient, a key attribute that us men of Yahweh Shem Yahshai must have. Okay. Without faith, what it is impossible to please him. Okay. And ultimately, faith is going to get us over the hump. Okay. When Esau Edom comes with his tactics, his demonic tactics. All right. When it comes to the point where he's gonna use food as a weapon, when he's gonna weaponize things around you, when he's gonna come with the MOTB. All right. Because like I did when I did that last video, basically they was talking about the digital prison. Okay. If you don't want to get that C hip, they'll just turn off your money. You won't be able to buy nothing. If you don't want to get a vaccine in your arm, they'll turn off your money. You won't be able to buy nothing. Okay. They will exceed your limit on how many times you can drive your car or go to the store. Okay. Revelation 12 and 12, you really have to put that into uh Apostle Gabar likes to say you got to think in pictures, man. When it says the devil shall come down upon you having great wrath because he knoweth that he have but a short time. All right. He wants complete, total control over the people. Okay. He wants complete, total control over you. All right. And when the time comes to where when Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai is going to let this man do what he does on the earth, when he's going to show his horns, your faith is the key ingredient that's going to keep you rolling. Okay. That faith is going to keep you rolling. You're going to have to, believe those stories that were told in the scriptures. All right. When Elijah was fed by the raven. Okay. When the Most High made water come from a rock. Okay. When Yahweh Shai turned water into wine. When he walked on water. All right. Daniel in the lion's den. Okay. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. You know, the manna coming from the heavens. I mean, those are stories of faith. Noah. Okay. You're gonna have to believe, man. All right. Because we're not gonna rely on this devil, we're gonna rely on Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. Okay? Because there's gonna come a time where what? You're gonna have to draw a line in the sand and you're gonna say no to Esau Edom. You're gonna say, no, I'm not doing that. No, I'm not taking that. All right. It tells us in Revelation 13 that those that would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. And if you don't worship the image of the beast, you're not going to take the mark of the beast, right? The scriptures speak about those that were beheaded for the sake of Yahweh Shai. Okay, so there's a lot that's going to be going on in these end times, man. That you're gonna have that key ingredient, which is the faith. This is the book of Romans, chapter 10, and verse 16. It says, "But they have not all obeyed the gospel. For Isaiah saith, Lord, who have believed our report? So then faith cometh by hearing, and hearing by the word of Yahweh." Yeah, faith is going to come by hearing, man. Okay, when you hear this truth, when you hear brothers speak, that's supposed to build up your faith. When you hear these modern epistles, these videos, that's supposed to build up your faith. You're supposed to believe, man, when you hear these stories. Okay. So then faith cometh by hearing, and hearing by the word of Yahweh. But I say, have they not heard? Yes, verily their sound went into all the earth, and their words unto the ends of the world. And that's Psalms 19 right there. Okay. Hey, it says that our sound went out into all the earth. So Jake is not going to have no excuse on why he's behaving a certain way or why he's not repenting. Okay. Even though the scriptures do tell us that the Lord, the election have obtained it, but the rest were blinded. But the elect were still out there teaching amongst them. Ultimately, they still had a chance to repent. Okay. So if you ain't got that faith, man, if you ain't got that key ingredient, okay, because faith is so important, man. All right. The scriptures say we look at the things that are what? Not seen. Okay. This is Salakia. Because all the things that we speak about, the kingdom of heaven, uh, the chariots, you know, ruling this earth in righteousness. Okay. It takes faith to believe those things. You just don't wake up and say, "Oh, yeah, I'm gonna believe that." No, you gotta the most high gotta give you that faith. All right. This is the book of Hebrews, chapter 11, verse 1. Now, faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen, right? The evidence of things not seen. A lot of times when we tell Jake, what we're gonna do, hey, we're gonna have slaves, the most high gonna give us spiritual power, we're gonna have unlimited resources, everything is gonna be done in righteousness. The most high gonna give you many, many women, the most high gonna give you many children. All the struggles that you have in this society, the most high is gonna take that away. There's gonna be no more death, no more pain, no more sorrow. Jake don't believe that because they've been stripped from everything that they have, and their faith is low. But this knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, it builds us up. It gives us something to look forward to, especially when you can see it, man. It's a beautiful thing. So faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. For by it the elders obtained a good report. Through faith we understand that the worlds were framed by the word of Yahweh, so that the things which are seen were not made of things which do appear. Because if we can see everything that we talk about, then it wouldn't take faith. You wouldn't have to believe. You wouldn't have to dig deep. If Jake can just see if everything was tangible, then Jake will be more carnal, man. It says, by faith, Abel offered up unto Yahweh a more excellent sacrifice than Cain, by which he obtained witnesses that he was righteous, the Most High testimony testifying of his gifts, and by it, yet being dead, yet speaketh. Okay, by faith, Enoch was translated that he should not see death. Right, the Most High just beamed him up. All right, that he should not see death, and was not found, because Yahweh have translated him. For before his translation, he had the testimony that pleased the Most High, and through the Spirit, that's pretty much the elect too. All right, because we have the testimony of Yahweh Shai right now, and what's Yahweh Shai gonna send the angels to do? Beam us up. Lord willing, we're those men. Okay, and we're gonna be translated. All right, and before we're translated, before the Most High beams us up, hey, we gonna have the testimony of the Most High. So pretty much we're a bunch of Enochs, man. All right. But without faith, okay, without that key ingredient, without that key attribute, a lot of these Israelite groups, they don't teach about faith, man. It's a bunch of carnality going on. Okay. Shalom, brother. Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Rakakwadash Barakatah. It says, but without faith, it is impossible to please him. So if you don't have this faith, you can't even, the Lord ain't even dealing with you. He don't even want to look at you. It's impossible to please him without faith. Okay. For he that cometh to the Most High must believe that he is, and that he is a rewarder of them that diligently seek him. And when you diligently seek Yahweh Shai, Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, you trying your best to do everything that he requires of you, man. Yes, we're in the flesh. Yes, we slip up. Yes, we're not perfect. But at the end of the day, are you still coming back to Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, asking him to forgive you, asking for repentance, thinking about him daily? All of these things matter because the Lord knows your spirit. He knows your heart. So he ultimately knows if, if you're seeking him, shall I say. All right. So you got to be a rewarder or one of those brothers that diligently seek him. By faith, Noah being warned of Yahweh, of things not seen as yet. That's the key point. Not seen as yet. Our modern day thing will be these thermonuclear missiles. Noah's thing was the flood, the first death. We know that nuclear missiles exist. We haven't seen all out thermonuclear war. Okay. A lot of people like to say, "Oh, that's not gonna happen in our lifetime." They always been talking about war, brother. Hey, no, the Most High getting ready to ramp this thing up. Okay, and Noah was warned by Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, and we have been warned by Yahweh Bashim Yahushai of things not seen as yet. He moved with fear. We're supposed to move with fear. Okay, pre-warned an ark to the saving of his house, by which he condemned the world and became the heir of righteousness, which is by faith. So we're supposed to move with fear. Okay. The ones that are going to be saved in this time is the elect. All right. The 144,000, which are men, and the 1/3. Okay. And by the way, the 1/3 is not the other nations. TGC ministries, you fucking niggas. All right. They're Israelites, which we're going to have to do a video on that too. Okay. So Noah moved with fear. We have to move with fear. That's another thing. You got to have faith. You got to have the fear of the Lord. That's a whole lesson. The fear of the Lord is a whole lesson. Just like faith is a whole lesson. It says, by faith, Abraham, when he was called to go out into a place which he should after receive for an inheritance, obeyed. And he went out not knowing whether he went. Why? Because he was moving with faith. By faith, he sojourned in a land of promises, as in a strange country, dwelling in tabernacles with Isaac and Jacob, the heirs of him of the same promise. Right. It was Abraham, it was Isaac, and it was Jacob, not Esau. All right. Not Esau. For he looked for a city which had foundations, whose builder and maker is Yahweh. Through faith, Sarah herself received strength to conceive seed. And that's pretty much for you sisters, man. You got to have faith too. And she was delivered of a child when she was past age, because she judged him faithful who had promised. Therefore sprang there even of one, and him as good as dead, so many as the stars of the sky in multitude, and as the sand which is by the seashore innumerable. These all died in faith, not having received the promises, but having seen them from afar off. They still kept the faith. All right. And they're back today. Reincarnation. You which have followed me in what? The regeneration. And were persuaded of them and embraced them and confessed that they were strangers and pilgrims of the earth. For they that say such things declare plainly that they seek a country. And truly, if they had been mindful of the country from whence they had came out, they might have had the opportunity to have returned. But now they desire a better country, and is and heavenly, whereof the Most High is not ashamed to be called their power, for he hath prepared for them a city. By faith, Abraham, when he was tried, he offered up Isaac, and he had received the promises, offered up his only begotten son. And that's how we know that Isaac was Yahweh Shai. That was a spiritual thing. Okay. Yeah, Yahweh Shai was Isaac in one of his past lives. He who have ears, let him hear. Because the Most High told Abraham to basically give him up, go kill him. And Abraham was going to do it. That's how much he believed in the Most High. All right. And notice how it says, he offered up his only begotten son. Yahweh Shai is known as the only begotten son, of whom it was said that in Isaac shall thy seed be called. Right. Isaac had who? Jacob and Esau. Okay. Who did the Most High choose? Jacob. Jacob have I loved, Esau have I hated. Shalom, brother. Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai Bahashim Rakakodash Brakatam. Okay. Jacob have I loved, but what? Esau have I hated. And like I said, that was a spiritual meaning right there when it called Isaac the only begotten son, because Yahweh Shai is known as that. All right. A lot of you people out there, you will never understand that Yahweh Shai was Isaac in one of his past lives. You will never get that. Number one, because you ain't got faith, and number two, you ain't spiritual. It's plain upon tables to us, but to you, you would start bugging out. What? Jesus was Isaac? What? You start foaming at the mouth and shit. You don't get it. And what's more spiritual about it is Jacob came out of Isaac, man. Okay? And Jacob had what? The 12 tribes, the chosen people. Shows you how creative the Most High is, man. It says, accounting that Yahweh was able to raise him up even from the dead, from whence also he received him in a figure. By faith, Isaac blessed Jacob, and concerning Esau things to come. And they had two different blessings. By faith, Jacob, when he was dying, blessed both his sons, Joseph, and worshipped both of his sons of Joseph, and worshipped, learning upon the top of his staff. By faith, Joseph, when he died, made mention of the departing of the children of Israel, and gave commandment concerning his bones. By faith, Moses, when he was born, was hid 3 months of his parents, because they saw he was a proper child, and when they were not afraid of the king's commandment. By faith, Moses, when he was come to years, refused to be called the son of Pharaoh's daughter. You remember Moses had basically found out he was an Israelite. And he said, fuck all of this shit, man. I ain't, fuck. I know I got everything. I got all the treasures I need. I got all the money. I got, women. It took faith for Moses to believe that, man. He didn't want to suffer pleasure for a little season. He chose to be with his people. He was a man of faith. Okay. And you got niggas in the ISUPK saying, oh yeah, Moses fell out the truth. That's why we tell you guys, man, watch who you follow, man. Watch who you follow. Moses was a great man. It says, choosing rather to suffer affliction with the people of the Most High, which was his people, to enjoy the pleasures of sin for a season. Okay? Esteeming the reproach of Yahweh Shai greater riches than treasures in Egypt, for he had respect unto the recompense of the reward. By faith he forsook Egypt, not fearing the wrath of the king, for he endured as seeing him who is invisible. For he endured as seeing him who is invisible. That took faith, man. He said, fuck that. Fuck all of this shit. I'm going with my people, man. I know this is the way. Through faith, he kept the Passover and the sprinkling of blood, lest that he destroyed the firstborn should touch them. By faith, they passed through the Red Sea by as dry land, and Salakia, which the Egyptians uh are saying against Salakia. Let me read that again. By faith, they passed through the Red Sea as by dry land, which the Egyptians are saying to be drowned. They to do were drowned. All right. They drowned. The Most High closed it up on their ass. You know, it took faith to believe that. And then after the Most High brought them through, what did they do? Still complained. By faith, the walls of Jericho fell down after they were compassed about 7 days. All right. So you brothers get it, man. Keep the faith. Keep pushing. We ain't got shit to look forward to in this society. We getting ready to get the hell up out of here. The kingdom is at hand, man. All praise be to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai. Shalom.